Hey guys, just want to show you a quick little update on how I fix broken plastic. It's my way. It's not to say it's the right way, but I've never had any issues of anything kind of re-breaking or anything like that. So let's get into it. I'll show you a couple little tricks. First tool I use is the plastic welding gun. Basically, you take these little pins and you pop them into the end of this. I'll show you a little bit better a little bit later, but that's the first step. And then I glue any tabs that are broken and put a piece of plastic. These are just credit card type cards, and it just adds a little bit of structural to the crack, and I just glue that on and epoxy it. You can see that I did it here as well. These tabs are all broken off. If you see in my previous videos, kind of outlines everything that was broken on this bumper. You can see a lot was busted. So I was able to salvage a couple other parts as well, using that welding tool. That's sort of what it looks like. And then kind of bending some cards to get a little bit more strength on some of the cracked areas that were hard to kind of epoxy, or I wasn't able to plastic weld. So a lot of these parts that I fix like this are things that aren't really moving around or bending too much. It's more so just to kind of complete the finished product. They basically, this whole piece here clips right into here where the fog light assembly goes, much like this side. So once it's in there, it's really not moving around, so I'm not too worried about these things breaking. The only thing that I didn't fix was the fog light tabs, mounting brackets. Those are totally busted off, and this thing's got a little bit of weight to it, so I don't think that I'd want to weld that together and plop it in there. With the car rattling around, I feel like this will break again. So I just went ahead and ordered a whole new fog light. And kind of when, it's up to you when you want to kind of test it out. Like this piece is, you can see that's the original side, and then this side is completely broken off. I mean, that is way too much work to glue, and it just wouldn't work. But something like this, I think works great. This thing just sits in there, and once it's bolted in, it doesn't really move. Just in the collision, it was smashed in and those got busted off. So this is a great kind of quick solution. So you can kind of see I bent this guy into the corner. And that ain't going anywhere. Like this corner is really strong, you can see. Great little method. That's something I do, not to say it's the right way to do it, but I couldn't find these pieces, and that was mainly the problem. That's why I fixed them. So this is the plastic welding gun, and I'm sure you've seen these before, but basically it's kind of like a soldering iron. These ends heat up. You take your little part, your little wire, if you want to call it. This one came with a bunch of different styles. So we're going to kind of just pick one that will fit. I think these ones are probably the better choice. The zigzag pattern will fit nicely, I think, right on here. Yep, that'll work there. So to load this guy, you just literally slide it into there's some holes on here. Slide it into the unit. And then you plug it in and you hit the gun. I'm gonna get it set up first before I do that. Thought I'd do a little bit more to set up, but I kind of like me holding it in position because it's a nice tight fit. And we'll go ahead and try this and not burn my hand. And you just clip off the excess wires. I'm gonna do one more weld up here. The only thing that you really need to, kind of focus on is not getting it to go all the way through the part. That's the key. And there you go. Well, see, that one went a little bit too far through. What happened here was I basically just pushed the iron too far. It gets really hot really fast. So maybe do a quick test on some other the old broken parts just to see how hot it gets and how hard you have to push to get it to secure. So for this one, I'm going to try to hold this in place right here. And then plastic weld this part on first. Just be careful how close you get to your fingers. These things get pretty hot, and obviously nobody loves a burn. Okay, got that on. Didn't burn my finger. So at least that's on there good. Then I can just lather that with epoxy or glue. At least we got a good start. I might throw another one here now. That is pretty solid. Liking that. We'll probably leave it there. And I'll probably, might be able to get one in here. Hook right along the edge there. Okay, perfect. That looks good right there. So I'll try to epoxy all this back together now, but that's how it'll look now that it's all fixed. Pretty good, I'd say. And then for these extra little pins that are sticking out, you just go ahead and snip them off. I like to use snippers that are flat on the side because that allows you to get in closer to cut these little tabs off. So, just watch your eyes. That's just a quick tip. I hope that helps somebody, put together a couple pieces on their car that they may not be able to find or don't have the budget for. Like I said, this is a budget car as well, so we're gonna see where we can save money, and in my opinion, that's a great way to save some cash. Thanks again. We'll catch you next time.